What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about the Backstage Pass through and through, pretty much like not just a money guide. It's gonna be a money guide, but not just a money guide. I'm gonna talk about Rarity, cars you should grab, cars you shouldn't grab, stuff like that, and basically just cover every single car in the Backstage Pass and what it's all about. So I'm pretty much gonna go down the list. You guys gotta bear with me. I wrote down a lot of this stuff so that I would get the information about that car right, money wise, like whether or not it sells, whether or not it doesn't sell, what it's worth, rarity, all that stuff. I made sure to write it down so you guys got accurate information. As you guys probably know, so I already have 2 Backstage Passes saved up from other stuff because I already own every single Backstage car. So I've kind of been I like having multiple beach rare car. I've kind of just been picky, no pun intended, about what cars I want to pick up. But there's 3 Backstage Passes coming in this next festival. One for 50% completion of the series, one for 50% completion of autumn, and one for 50% completion of winter. So basically you're going to see 3 new Backstage Passes, which means you guys have 3 cars to pick from throughout this next month time period, and pretty much in the next 2 weeks, because in the next 2 weeks you could have 50% done of the series and 50% obviously of each of those next 2 seasons. So you guys are gonna have 3 Backstage Passes to work with the next 2 weeks. So I wanted to give you this information so you guys knew what to get, and I knew people would kind of be struggling with decision for this type of stuff, and you're gonna be looking to get these Backstage Passes soon, so I wanted to help you out. We're going to kind of start backwards, which is pretty much the order that the cars got added to the Backstage Pass. If you guys didn't know, the stuff towards the end of the list is stuff that's more recent, almost positive. I don't think it's specifically in that order. It might be, but I think that it's in the order backwards, basically, of when it's been added. So we're going to start towards this end of it. The Evo, very well-known car, fastest car in the game, right? It usually has 0 on the market because it gets bought out instantly for no matter what price it gets posted for. The max that somebody who is not a legendary painter or tuner can post it for is 8 million, and it'll instant sell for 8 million. It'll instant sell for anything below 8 million, and it'll instant sell for 8 million. And I mean pretty much instant, like usually within 10 seconds. Other than that, obviously if you're a legendary painter or tuner, you can buy any of these cars posting for 20 million. That does not mean they will sell for 20 million. A lot of you guys get that mixed up, thinking, oh, well, I posted this car for that, that's what it should sell for. Or somebody else has this car posted for that, but that's what it'll sell for. If you haven't watched my first video on how to auction snipe successfully, my first ever Forza auction sniping video, go check it out. It pretty much explains everything about auction sniping, how to find the actual price of an item and all that type of stuff. So go check that video out if you haven't. But the price that people are going to be willing to pay is the lowest price that somebody has it posted for. So you either need to undercut that or post it for the same thing. For these Evos, I'm specifically telling you the max amount you can post it for, it will sell instantly for. That's not the case with every car. And if you are a legendary painter or tuner, this is a car that's so rare that so many people want. If you were able to post it for 20 million, which you probably wouldn't be watching this video if you could, because you'd probably have max money already. But if you were, you could sell this for 20 million and it would sell, right? 99 Lotus Elise. This is worth 9 to 12 million, more than likely worth 9 to 10 million, and it's kind of hard to sell sometimes, but it kind of does sell. At any given time, there's usually about 5 on the market, so yours could be the one that sells, could not be the one that sells. You never know. You post that for 12 hours for about 9 million, it'll probably sell. So that's a car you could pick up if you're interested. It's not really that fun to drive. I've owned like 1 or 2 of them. It's not that great. It's up to you guys. Unicorn V2, very desirable for drifting and the nostalgia behind like Hoonigan brand and everything like that. Very cool car. Ken Block kind of worked with Forza, as a lot of you guys who keep in touch or like keep in tune with like what's going on with Hoonigan. Ken Block kind of worked with Forza to make all of these cars and make sure they are right and like felt right to their real world feel. So it has a lot of nostalgia for some people. A lot of people really like it. A lot of, especially the big fan base of Hoonigan, and being in, you know, that this is a car game that, you know, kind of has them in their brand in the game. That being said, it's not worth a lot. You can only max sell it without being legendary. Obviously, all the prices I'm going to give you are pretty much not legendary. If you're legendary, you can sell for 20 million. The max price that normal people can sell it for is about 2.1 million, and it'll instant sell. Not instant sell, but it will sell for 2.1 million. If you post it for an hour, it's going to sell. Like 100%, it will sell. And I'm telling you that because if you post it, I will buy it for 2.1 million, because I like collecting rare cars, especially backstage cars, and I specifically really like the Unicorn V2, which is kind of the name for this, the Unicorn V2. You'll see that that's the name of it on the auction house, is Unicorn V2. It's the Gymkhana version of the Unicorn Mustang, and then there's the non-Gymkhana version, which you could actually distinguish by the wheels, which are gold, versus on the V2, which are the white ones with like the Toyo tires on them and stuff like that. Really cool car. A lot of people like it. A lot of people buy it. If you're a legendary painter or tuner and you post it up for 20 million, most people actually will buy this car. Hot Wheels Mustang usually sells around 8 to 10 million. Sometimes it can be hard to sell. It used to be about 12 million, but it's likely not to go back up. It sometimes sits for a little while. It might not sell right away, but it is on the market for about 10 to 12 million, and it could sell for that. It's just whether or not you're that lucky one who gets theirs bought. But it's not the greatest of cars to buy, and it's not the greatest cars to drive. It's semi-fun, as most Mustangs are, but there's better options. 2018 Honda Civic. This is one of the top 3 rarest cars in the game. Nobody picks this up from the Backstage. Nobody posts this from the Backstage because it's not worth enough money to sell. And it's extremely rare, and a lot of people actually want it. Like, I have people talking about wanting the 2018 Honda Civic all the time. I have one myself. They're really hard to snipe. It's not really worth sniping because it takes so dang long. If you want one, pick up a Backstage pass. Use one of your 3. Pick it up. 1970 Porsche 914, worth about 11 mil, but it's really hard to sell. Usually more towards the 9 mil range, and even then it's really hard to sell. It could sell, it might sell. You never know when you're gonna get lucky and be that one that gets sold, but it's hard to sell. Tuscan TVR, these have a consistent max post of 10 million. Sometimes they sell once again because they're rare. There's usually barely any. There's usually 0 on the market. Sometimes there's 1 or 2. They sit for a little bit, even though they're rarely on the market, because it's not a very desirable car, not very fun to drive, but it is worth 10 million. The twin turbo Fairlady Z's were 12 to 15 mil and usually sells because it's so desirable for drifting. This car is really fun. I personally, it's one of my top 5 probably for drifting, at least top 10. It's a really fun car to pick up. It will sell for 10 to 12 million pretty consistently. 1965 Pontiac Gto. See, this one's slightly tricky because there is 0 on the market. A lot of people who are into the old school American muscle love this car, really want it. Very desirable. But it has a max sell price of 1.1 million. Like, that's it. So it's not worth anything money-wise, but it is very, very desirable, very rare, and very cool. There used to be a lot of Hudson Hornets on the market, quite a bit to be honest. Now there's 0, so I guess that makes it a really rare car. Obviously, it has a little bit of nostalgia because of its own history. It was a important car in the movie Cars and stuff like that. And it has its own like background and history and everything to it. But it's worth about 6-7 million. It's not crazy. It's not the most expensive car you can get. It's not the cheapest car. It's a cool little thing. You guys can pick it up if it's something you're interested in. I wouldn't see it as like a first priority. Hot Wheels Twin Mill. I don't really know how to feel about this one just because there's usually not a lot on the market. There is a lot on the market right now. They're at about 8 million. When there's not a lot on the market, they usually sell. When there is a lot on the market, they usually don't sell. And even when there isn't a lot on the market, sometimes they don't sell. Once again, it sounds cool in theory. I think it has like 1900 horsepower, but it feels like a car that has like 400 horsepower. It's very slow. It's very uncontrollable. It's not very fun to drive, in my opinion. This is all opinionated. I mean, I don't know, what do I know? But I personally don't think it's that great of a car. I think it looks cool, and I think if you have a friend who just started playing the game, like when I did, my friend showed it to me, and I was like, that's the coolest car I've ever seen. But it's really not, and it's not that fun. But if you want it, and you want to save yourself 8 million, feel free to pick it up. I wouldn't. Number 25, Mustang RTR. This is max post of 8 million. I pretty much buy these whenever they pop up for 8 million because there's usually like 0 on the market. I've got 2 of them right now, I think. Really fun for drifting. This will set like drift zone scores like up the wazoo, like crazy. It'll set drift adventure scores and drift zone scores like a ton. It's 4-wheel drive, like all-wheel drive drift builds are like crazy, and they'll slide all the way through those long stretching turns and stuff like that. Really fun to play with, and definitely worth 8 million in my opinion, and maybe worth your Backstage pass if that's something you're into. 2019 Bmw Z4 Roadster is not really worth mentioning or being in the Backstage pass for that matter. Used to be rare. There was like 0 on the market. My buddy had 2 of them, gave me 1. I felt pretty cool, and then literally within a few days after that happened, they added it to the Backstage, and it got added to the Forza shop, I'm pretty sure. And or maybe it was an event in one of the festival playlists, and it's worth nothing. It's worth 1 mil. There's a boatload of them. It's worth nothing. One of the most important cars, arguably, in this entire Backstage Pass is the Mustang RTR Spec 5. By far, the most money you will get for the car in the shortest period of time. If you buy this car, you can post it for 15 million, 12 to 15 million. Most are posted for 15 million, and it will likely sell. It is very likely that it'll sell for 15 million. So if you're looking for outright dead on car, I am going to tell you what cars to buy and what cars to buy for money and what cars to buy for rarity right after, at the end of this whole shindig. But this is definitely the car that you should look to get if you're looking for money. 15 mil, like pretty much. I'm almost positive it'll sell. Mercedes-Benz X-Class, 7 to 8 mil. Sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. It's a truck. Do with that information as you wish. 2018 Ford number 88 Mustang RTR, super long names. Yay, the American way. It's a Mustang. It's pretty much like the number 25. Also sets high drift scores. It's also similar to the Spec 5. It's also similar to the GT350. It's also similar to the GT500. It's a Mustang. Yeah. It's worth about, check my list, I think 8 million. I think that's right. I don't see it on my list. It's on my list, but I don't see it on my list. 8 million. Yeah. It's worth 8 million. Could sell for that. Could not sell for that. When they're at 5 million, they weren't really selling. Yeah. That's all I got for you for that one. It's pretty much one of the other very most rare cars in the game. 2019 Porsche 911 Gt3 Rs. Pretty much everybody wants these things. Like, everybody freaking wants these things. They are super cool, super fun to play with, fun for races. Very desirable car in real life, very desirable car in the game. Extremely hard to snipe, extremely rare. I have 4, but one of them was from a viewer, and then one was from Backstage Pass. 2 were from sniping. Really fun, cool car, and definitely a blast to have. Definitely very rare. 2017 Hoonigan Gymkhana 10 Ford Fiesta ST, extremely rare, 0 on the market. If you're into rally type stuff, it is a blast to drive in first person. If you can never get those off-road like dirt drift zones that are like 95 to 110 miles an hour for like the season events and stuff like that, little secret, the Rahal, if you don't have the money, the Rahal Letterman Ford Fiesta or whatever it is, will pretty much hit all of those zones. It's like 300K. And then the 2017 Hoonigan Gymkhana 10 Ford Fiesta just hit the 110 mile an hour dirt speed zone for me first try. All my viewers are saying they had 25 tries, 30 tries to like beat that thing with like a million different cars, and I did this first try with this car. So very cool, very fast. I did first person too. It's super fun to drive rally cars first person, especially with a wheel. It's a blast. Another one of the absolute most rare cars in the game, 1984 Honda Civic CRX Mugen. Super fun, cool car to build for drags, drifts, you name it. Super fun, really cool car. Civics are always a blast for most people. Extremely rare. Nobody ever posts this thing. I have one. I have not been able to get more than one, and it has been a really cool car to own. DS3 Automotive, 1.8 to 2 million. Probably not going to sell. Tons of them on the market. Worthless car. I don't know why it's in this. Bmw M3 Gtr, worth 8 to 11 mil, and pretty much always sells. Not always, but it sells a lot, and it's really fun car that a lot of people love to have and a lot of people bid on and buy. So if you set like a kind of lowish minimum buy, one that you're acceptable of having, it'll probably, a minimum bid, it'll probably sell for that, and then set a maximum buyout. It'll probably sell for the maximum buyout, to be honest. 2011 Hot Wheels Bone Shaker. Originally, I was just gonna ballpark this and say they were 5 to 6 mil because that's what they're usually worth. I think they're all up for pretty much 8 mil right now. They're not gonna sell. These things never sell. It's very rare. I've posted a lot up and they don't sell at all. But like, if you want to buy it, try to sell it or whatever, you do you. Not my vibe. I don't really care for them either. They're kind of cool type of thing to own, but they're not my vibe. That's up to you. They're not really worth that much. 8 mil. You know, you do with that information as you wish. ZR2s worth 6 to 7 mil. Sometimes sells. People like to buy these types of things just because they're worth a lot of money, but it really is kind of just a truck. It works pretty well for some races, but that's kind of on you whether or not you think a truck's worth 6 to 7 mil. And then the 94 Honda Prelude, 9 to 12 mil, and it pretty much sells like all the time. And then coming up, I didn't really care for either of these, but it looks like the mini convertible is what's gonna win. That being said, I don't know if they I don't know if they change like the percentages after you vote, or if they just show you the percentage of when you voted, or like if they change it after you voted. Technically, there's none on the market right now, according to this. That being said, I think I own 2 or 3 of them. I don't think they sell for like almost anything at all. If I had to guess, it's probably definitely under 5 mil, and probably more in the 1 mil range of things. But I will check for you guys just to make sure, right in front of your eyes. Check that. I don't own the convertible. Oh, we found a car that Pikckyy doesn't own. Yeah, there's like 0 on the market. I mean, I'll probably pick up my Backstage pass just to own it, or if people start picking them up, I'll grab it. I'm assuming they're only worth like 1-2 mil, maybe more, because there's not a ton up there. I don't really care for minis or anything like that. Because it's in the playlist, or because it's in the Backstage pass, I'm probably gonna pick one up just to have it. I don't really think they're gonna be worth that much though, so like that's also up to you, and we'll just see what happens when that happens. Let me get into the cars to buy for profit, and then the cars to buy for just having rarity, if you want like really cool rare cars. If you're going for rarity, 2019 Porsche 911 Gt3 Rs, Civic CRX Mugen, 2018 Honda Civic. Just gotta follow off stream, so now they get to be featured in the YouTube video. 2018 Honda Civic, 2017 Gymkhana 10 Fiesta. Those 4 cars there's 0 on the market. They very rarely ever get posted. You can only get them from the Backstage as of right now, as for most of these cars, but these ones specifically are very rare and not really in the market. So those 4 cars are worth like rarity, if you're looking for cars that are super rare and hard to get. And then for money, RTR Spec 5, 1994 Honda Prelude, Nissan Twin Turbo, and then the Evo. Those are all worth anywhere from 8 to 15 million. My personal top of the list would be the RTR. I think that's going to sell for 15 million almost instantly and make you guys some big bank, no hassle. It should always sell, and if not, put like a bid on like 11 million or something and a buyout on 15, and it will sell. So that's about it. I just want to cover all of those Backstage cars for you guys. If you have not, check out my other videos. We're doing drip build series. I'm starting an F1 2020 league video series that I'm going to put a lot of editing time into and a lot of work into. I appreciate all of you guys' support, follows on Twitch, the people who join my Discord and are a part of my community. You guys subscribing, just it's liking, commenting, the amount of support you guys have been giving me is crazy. Please keep it up and keep showing me the love. I appreciate everything you guys do, and you guys being the best viewers in the world. Thank you so much for all the sweet comments and stuff like that. And I wish you guys success on making money in Forza, and I hope you guys make the right decisions for you for the Backstage Pass. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by the Discord, stop by the stream. Whatever you guys have, you can ask whenever you want. You can comment it down below, and I will make sure to answer every single one of you. And once again, thank you so much for your support, and good luck making some money.